Hey, I'm here with Mr. Bill. We're at his workshop, which Roger really liked. Roger Williams says, he has my dream workshop. I go, oh, okay. okay, Roger.
This was a gift from my wife.
Yeah.
It was actually to get the mess cleaned up in here so it would look better.
Yeah. All right, so today what are we going to do, Mr. Bill?
Not much today. We're going to take the mirrors off and we are going to remove the license plate, tail light, not tail light, the
hugger and
hugger. Yeah, we're gonna take this off.
Yeah.
So should be pretty easy. It's just take this cover off and unplug it, and then take these bolts off. And
well, can I show the folks what you did already?
Yeah. You gave me an order to create something for the front end, so I did.
How about that? That's pretty cool, isn't it? All right, he did good on that. So what we're going to do is do this today. Then only thing we'll have, we can do the bolts.
We want to put the two bolts
in. We need to put the two bolts in here.
Right.
Then so Roy can come and do the safety wiring later on. After we put the new tires on, we're going to do some safety wiring. Yeah. All right, let's go, Mr. Bill.
Let's get started.
Meerkat. When I said let's go, I really meant you go, Mr. Bill.
Yeah. Here's the tool, Jerry.
Oh, yeah. Taking those mirrors off is terribly complicated.
Yeah, you probably have to take 13 panels off just to get to them, right?
Well, if it's a ZX 1400, yes, it would be. I'm talking about this bike over here. This is my bike I ran out at Bonneville in 2016. We ran this one. I ran my air-cooled Thruxton and I ran my water-cooled Thruxton. I ran 3 bikes at the same time. So after we got through running it, I sold it to Bill's son Jay, and he owns the bike now. But it had a lot of modifications it had to have done to it. This chain guard, that was probably $300 for the chain guard, to do a metal chain guard. And the battery box is a special made battery box for this thing. Then we had racing tires on there, and you know, we got it up to 196 and some change, but we never did get to 200 miles an hour on it. But it was a pretty easy bike to ride. So one of the hard things on all these bikes is getting a lanyard. So the lanyard is a thing that hooks to your wrist. You see a lot of this in drag racers. They have those also. So, you know, once you get a lanyard on these things, you generally don't take them off. Had Jay taken this one off of here?
I don't think so.
No, it's still there.
Is it still there?
It's still there. It's right here. So it's one of the tests they have you when you go through tech inspection. They'll have you pull that. This back on things. Really, it's not necessary, but what it does is it does help me get a little more purchase on the hand grip when we're riding out there real fast. So I like to have that on.
Does the wind drive your hands away?
The wind drives everything away. Look, it blew my hair away. So what we have to do is replace these, because before you get some out of there, if you look at them,
they need to stick out like that.
Yeah, they need to stick out. So we got some longer bolts and do that, so we can safety wire them. We are going to bring the stand for the bike, so we can get the bike off the ground. We need to bring that jack in case we have to change the rear tire for some reason. We are going to bring another rear tire just in case. Just got through doing the live stream with the boys, and I got one of my stickers. Alex put up one of my stickers on the sign going into Scotland.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A Flat Cat Cafe?
Yeah.
Oh, my. Welcome to Scotland, huh?
Yeah. Well,
about that.
there's several thousand more stickers on there too. So
Yeah, yeah. But there's only one Flat Cat Cafe.
that's right. All right, so that's two of the things down.
Yeah.
The third thing is going to be back here in the back. Now, I pretty much did all of the stuff on this bike last year except for the steering dampener. And you and I did the steering dampener together, right?
Yeah.
Then Roy come and did the wiring, and
Well,
Jeff
he does
changed.
such a good job with that.
Oh yeah, he probably goes through 60 meters of wire doing it because he just got to get it just right.
Well, and you know what I really like too is the fact that he took the time to put those little things on there to protect the wheel so that the wire doesn't rub on the wheel.
Yeah.
That was really a nice touch to think about that and do that for us.
Yeah. Roy's going to go down to the salt with us this year. So that'll be my last year, so he wanted to come down. And hopefully one of my nephews, John's going to come out there. And I don't know if anybody else is going to come out. Have you heard from Woody since he's had his operation?
He just let me know he came through his surgery. He's okay. He's in his recovery phase now.
Woody was down there with us last year.
He was such a big help.
Yes. The fact that he brought his computer, that somebody didn't bring their computer.
Jeff was supposed to bring his.
We all thought it was Bill supposed to be bringing his. So we'll bring you some, we're going to do the drawing down there. So far I got 67 entries.
67 different people or 67 entries?
67 entries.
Okay.
But one of the things I'm changing is I was going to do one for the UK and one for the United States. I was going to put them all together and just pull out two.
Oh.
And I'm thinking about doing a surprise gift too, but I'm not real sure I'm going to do that yet. T120 tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to take two.
We'll show you some of the stuff he's done on it. You going to do the windscreen or are you not?
No, I don't want to have it with the duct tape on it.
No, I mean, are you going to fix it so you like it? I mean, you're going to attach that.
Eventually.
Let me show you what I'm talking about,
It won't
folks.
be attached tomorrow, though.
A windscreen within a windscreen here. So he's thinking about adding this on height. So his is mounted down low, okay, and mine will be mounted up higher. You can see it goes up about 1.75 inches higher. So he chose, and he doesn't have the wind deflector, so he chose to add just another part of the windscreen. So we'll end up trailering the bike out to the Old Mexico and make a couple runs there, and we'll just see about the windscreen more than anything. I think I'll be able to tell about the windscreen pretty easily. I looked at the windscreen on this bike versus the one I run out in 2023. I'll show you a picture of that bike. That's the one I crashed, but I think the windscreen on this one is a little bit, the height is not that much different. It's just the angles slopes back a little bit more than the one we ran in 2023.
There we go. So I just repaired it right here.
Okay.
Okay. That's good.
You gonna put the little thingy back on there?
Oh yeah. Okay, that goes up, that goes under.
We'll take this back one as a backup tire. What's going to happen is, because we don't have the speed rating on these tires. These tires aren't rated up. They're rated up to 150 miles an hour. So because we're going to run faster than that, what they're going to have us do is if they do what they did last year, would have us come in to tech inspection after every run. Then they'll look at the tires. And so when we get out to the salt, what they'll have a little sticker on the front here, up here, saying that, and it's like a little yellow warning sticker. So what they'll do is they'll look at that sticker and they say, okay, then they'll call back to tech inspection and say, was this bike inspected? So that's where they'll check. The sticker goes on, tells the starter, check back with tech inspection, go, oh, yep, we checked the tires and they're good.
That way there's no cheating.
There's no cheating. We don't really need front brakes and calipers on this bike. However, because of the weight distribution of this bike, we found out with the older version was even made it worse. When you take those brake calipers and rotors off, it makes the front end a little bit too light, and it handles like a pig in a wheelbarrow. Picture that, a pig in a wheelbarrow moving around. That's about the way that bike handled. Oh, there you go. Mr. Bill's doing his funky chicken.
That's what you were doing on the bike. The funky chicken. There you go. So.
No, you know, when you see the storms going through just south of us, they usually go through the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
But what usually happens is the day before we go, or the day of us leaving, they get a big rain shower down there. And if the salt is dry before the rain shower, it's not a problem. But when it's soaked and it's full, going down before the rain, then there's no place for the water to run. So what it looks like is a little bitty lake about 2 inches deep.
Put up a picture.
Yeah. And what happens is
Now let's see how big
the wind changes every day and night. It changes directions. So during the day, it blows usually from right to left. So it'll blow the water off the course during the day. So it looks pretty good during the day, but what happens at night, it changes directions and goes from like the other way, and it blows the water that was off 2 inches deep, and all of a sudden it's 2 inches deep on the course. And this bike running on slippery salt, she's not exactly Dorothy Hamill on ice.
And did you feel like these tires had more grip on the salt than the tires we had in 23?
Well, up front, it was the biggest difference up front. Up front, in 2023, that little small tire, every time it hit a divot, it was bouncing. You watched in the camera, you could see the bike going, flicking left and flicking right. Trust me. Trust me.
All right, you're about to have it all.
I can handle it. I got a foot here, just in case.
There we go.
See there?
I don't really see any reason to put these back in.
I did, just to keep the salt out of them.
Oh, good. All right. Well, that's a good reason, Jerry.
And actually, I put tape around them last year after I put them in there, just to keep because it doesn't go. I don't know if it went all the way in or not.
But I'll put some lock washers on if it doesn't.
Just to keep the.
Oh yeah, it bottoms out.
So if you put some lock washers or some tape over it, it's probably easier with lock washers if you got them.
Yeah, I got them.
And keep those threads from getting all funky.
Yeah.
Other than changing the tires and a bit of just being safety wired again, that's all that's going to be done to this bike. So it has an ECU tune on it. It has the headers, the Viking exhaust on it, and we've taken a couple of things off, and added steering dampener on here safety lanyard and a little bit taller windscreen. Only piece we don't know about and how it's really going to affect the bike is this windscreen right now. The power to the motor with the exhaust system, I think it should be running cool enough. I'm not going to worry about being burnt by that. But what we don't know is I'd rather it been mounted. It's not really mounted to the handlebar, so it's more or less to the bike, so it should be pretty stable. But I think that the one we had in 23, I think Rob's was mounted to the handlebars, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was a combination handlebar triple tree.
And which wasn't a good idea. This just doesn't. Just aggravates the situation. Well, he's putting this some washers as spacers because we want to put something in those bolts, nuts, because you don't want to get salt in there, and it will get just pretty much everywhere. I have to do with this bike was one of these ones with the key fob, which I'm not a big fan of. I've got to put it around my neck, but when I put it inside the leathers, what happens is
Can't read it?
It won't hardly read. the bike won't hardly read it. So we'll have to have 2 key fobs just in case, like the battery goes out. I think we put a new battery in one last year.
Jeff's going to put a new battery in this again. But I believe he only has 1. Did we have 2 last year?
I think we're supposed to have, Bill, are we supposed to have 2 keys for everything?
We're supposed to have 2 keys for everything.
Everything.
So 4 washers and a lock washer.
Okay.
All 3 of them are tight.
Okay.
These are all back on tight. So we are back together. Mission done.
Okay. One thing you have to do is the battery has to be surrounded by metal. So they always look at this and they always go, I don't know. They always go, I don't know. But this is the strap we used on it last year.
And the logic that we used with them last year, and they agreed, was this aluminum frame is the metal that surrounds the battery, and this steel strap completes it.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, you really can't say no to that.
And in 2023, when we had the crash, what actually happened was the gas tank, it crashed so hard the gas tank broke the welds holding the gas tank on, and it came off.
Yeah.
So it can be very severe on the thing. If you hit hard enough to break the welds on the gas tank, that's pretty hard.
Yeah.
So really, that's pretty much done. We'll bring a few extra fuses and stuff like that, just in case. But this is about as close to a showroom Rocket 3 as you can get, and running in it's got an exhaust on it and it's got a windscreen on it, and the ECU has been tuned and a few things have been taken off. Well, folks, that's about all we have here for today. Well, we'll see you later. We're going to do a ride tomorrow.
We are, yeah.
Then we'll
supposed to be like 98 tomorrow, so.
And we'll bring you that ride, and we'll show you some of the little stuff that Mr. Bill's added to make his $20,000 T120.
I have a hard time. I need to get the Tech Cam for it, and I haven't got a response from either Tech USA or Tech UK, so I sent them messages again today.
Tech doesn't respond.
Oh,
Their
nice.
customer response is not good. All right, guys. See you later.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.